shit.
God, that's insane.
Yeah,
So
man.
you have people dragging chains. And
But unfortunately, if you know, it's a natural. If you want to think of it that way, I don't know. Based on what I watch when I watch fucking Netflix.
this is where I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat.
Yeah, I'm very interested to hear it. You know, like if you look at like Africa and all that stuff and all those places, like fires is like, you know, a natural form of life where it burns shit and then shit dies and stuff regrows and it's like a natural process. So it's almost as if there's nothing you can really do about it. What do you think about it? I'm curious about what you think about that.
So this is just my opinion.
Bring it in.
You're full of shit. Just kidding.
But so let's, for example, the Coconino National Forest, which is up by Flagstaff, Arizona. They
Yeah.
do a lot. If there's a lightning strike
Yeah.
and the fire's doing what it's supposed to do, they'll just manage it. So they'll let it burn and just manage it. Where we started fighting all these fires is when people started moving into these areas. And so they were
Right.
like, well, holy shit, I don't want my house to burn. Well, we
Right.
got to put that fire out. And so more and more area got consumed by that. So it's like, the fire's not really doing its job anymore. That's why you get these big mega fires.
Or is
Ah,
it? Or is it?
I mean, fire's good
Cleaning
for the
out the
environment.
humans.
Yeah.
It's good for the environment.
Oh, so you do agree with me?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
No, I
Good.
do.
I thought you were gonna rip me there for a second. Absolutely. Like, if you watch, it's a natural process for
Science.
it's science, man. Yeah, it's all science.
No, it's good. It's good
Yeah.
for the forest, but a lot of states will have a rule. If it's human caused, you have to go full suppression.
Absolutely.
But we have tons of thunderstorms moving in right now, just monsoons, and they're going to start a lot of fires. And if they're manageable, some of them will go out and they'll hurt them a little bit. The guys on the ground will, but they'll burn all the understory up and stuff because it's good.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't build up for 5-6 years, and then when you get a fire ripping through there, it just
Yeah, man.
cooks.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that.
Absolutely.
But there's just too many people. So you
I
gotta,
mean, no,
you got to save that
you have to,
dilapidated cabin down by the river. Okay.
unfortunately.
Let them burn.
You know, unfortunately. Well, cool, man. Yeah. So what is the switch? So where's the switch at for that fluid? And how does that work? I mean, hydraulics. It opens up or is it just spray? What is it?
Yeah. So if you look at our airplane from the outside, it looks like just a normal airliner.
It
MD.
does.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Except for on the bottom, there's a pod, and that controls the doors where it comes out. But then if you walk up inside, it's gutted. So there's no seats in there.
Is there anything? If you look at the back, what is it? Is it completely sealed off?
Well, it's two big tanks,
Oh shit. Okay.
huge tanks.
Yeah. Okay.
Because 3,000 gallons doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot. So
No,
two, two big tanks in the back, and then a control unit, and then up front. So depending on how much you want to drop is called like coverage levels.
Mm-hmm.
So like a coverage level 3, the line of retardant is going to go a lot further, but the density is going to be a lot less. So you'd use that like in a Texas grass fire or something where it's not ripping. Coverage level 8 is going to be a lot more density at once, but the line's going to be a lot shorter.
Gotcha.
You're going to use that in like ponderosa pines and stuff where the fuels are a lot thicker. So under the captain side, right under the control wheel, you have a little dial, and you dial up your coverage level, and that relays to the computer that controls the doors on the pod, and then up on the yoke, right where your like middle finger is, that's where the button is.
Oh, no, I got you.
Yeah. And so, when you press that, depending on what coverage level you set, that's how much the doors open or don't open,
Okay.
and that controls the coverage level.
Who's setting that?
So the guy on the ground, which is usually the incident commander, which is the IC, he'll tell us. We work for the guys on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really there just to support them.
The actual firefighters on the ground that are
the hot shots or the smoke jumpers, the helitack crews.
Yeah, those guys. Yeah.
And so they're going to tell us what coverage level they want, or they'll say, well, you have a better view of it. What coverage level do you think will work in this fuel? And then they let us make the decision, and then we'll say, okay, a 3 or 4 or an 8. Sometimes it's pretty obvious. If it's super heavy timber, it's going to be coverage level 8 all day.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
when you're about to drop, like for example, descent checklist, you do a descent checklist.
yeah, like just sent into the fire traffic area.
There's a checklist for it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. What about the drop checklist?
Well, I can tell you about it.
Interesting, man.
I have
Yes.
a feeling seatbelts are on there somewhere.
The drop checklist is almost like a descent checklist, but the biggest thing is making sure that your tank's armed, because it's not armed all the time. So making sure that when you press the button,
The fluid, the door actually
the
opens.
stuff's going to come out.
Has that ever happened to people where they go down and like, oh shit?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's want to.
Oh, that's something you don't want to talk about?
No, it's not a huge deal. I mean, sometimes you forget to arm the tank.
Okay.
But it's on the checklist, and it gets busy. And sometimes you show up to a fire and you're starting your orbit, and the guy's like, "Hey, we need to get right to work, or this retardant's going to blow line through this retardant." So you're like, "All right," so you're just doing it. And you're like, shit, we got to the tank. And then that's when the co-pilot gets smacked because he should have been looking over and seeing if the tank was armed.
Yeah.
But that's like the biggest one, arming the tank and making sure you have the right coverage level dialed. Because
Okay.
if you're going down into a hole and you're expecting to lose 27,000 pounds and you don't,
Ugh.
you can put yourself into a precarious situation.
Yeah. Okay, so do you guys? So there's a speed you do the dump, and
140.
and then you're expecting another speed as you climb.
Yeah, so in the fire traffic area again, so the fire traffic area is set up like a class Delta kind of, but with kind of class Bravo-ish, with like a wedding cake kind of deal, but more horizontal. So it's set up at 12 miles and at 7 miles is the FTA from the origin of the fire. Now the TFR is different, obviously, because if the TFR is bigger than the FTA, you still have to get clearance into the TFR first.
Gotcha.
But the speed limit per the Forest Service is 160 in the FTA.
Max.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then again, there could be 8 to 10 other air tankers in there orbiting with you.
Yeah.
So when you
Oh,
exit,
shit.
you don't want to climb above your assigned altitude because there's probably an air attack up there 1,500 feet,
wow.
and you want to keep the speed back.
Yeah.
So you're not even really cleaning it up right away. You might just go.
So you configure it. There's
Yeah, you might have flaps 15 or slats
Gear?
extended and gears up.
all gears up. Okay.
Yeah, you're bringing the gear up and then you're going, and you're kind of just chilling. Then once you get out of that 7, and we're watching our little map to see where all the traffic is. And once we get past that, we clean up and boom, and then we're 300 knots back to the base to get more retardant. But yeah, you got to be cognizant of that because there's tons of traffic. I mean, if you look on ForeFlight, if you look at the TFR right now, it's probably just full of traffic.
And those are all tankers?
Tankers, helicopters, air attacks, lead planes,
Holy
scoopers.
I don't think I've ever seen anything
Because we don't
on there.
Because we don't go in that area. We don't even attempt to go that area.
Shows up in.
Yeah, but like if I could show you on my phone right now, all the traffic.
I guess I turn the
internet traffic off probably.
Yeah, the far traffic. So have you ever had any of the idiots with the drones out there?
Not
Yeah,
when I was flying Air Attack, we did.
Question.
When I was flying Air Attack, we actually the Air Attack I was flying with saw it, and we were flying a fire out of Flagstaff, AZ, and we had to shut everything down.
I remember hearing. I'm not sure if at the same time, but I remember hearing that you guys had to shut everything down.
Well, it pisses you off.
Oh man.
Especially if you're making good progress.
Do you hear that, UAS pilots?
Can we call
I'm
them?
sorry.
Can we call them pilots?
We cannot. I apologize. I
I was about to
apologize to
say.
listeners. I
There you go.
apologize to my mom and my dad. UAS operators.
There we go.
Stay the
There
hell
you go. Yeah.
out of their way.
Well, yeah.
You know that it would be. I don't
Stay the hell out of our way.
because it would probably be some really cool stuff that they captured on there, but it ruins a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's not helping.
No.
Fucks you guys up. Yeah.
But I think it's getting less and less after people have really started pushing it, trying to get the information out there. Like, hey, don't do this shit.
Well, now you have to, recreationally, you have to have a license to get to the. I think they're getting to a point. I think we're there now.
Could we call it a license?
Oh gosh, you're gonna have to show him the card. He's gonna.
Unfortunately,
puke all over this place like
It's a normal pilot certificate, isn't it? I don't need to see it.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, it'll make it. He showed it to me yesterday. Or Sunday. I was pissed.
I earned mine, man.
They're giving
there when you
student
earned it.
pilots the same damn thing now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
man.
no, you got to
they're
get
giving
that
student pilots
first
the cool
check
one?
ride. Yes.
Oh, that's bull.
like
You
your
get a
medical,
medical
it's completely different
paper.
now. Go ahead, Mark.
I mean,
You
I
get-
got a temporary when I just did my PIC type. I got a temporary.
It's bullshit. You get your medical
temporary
papers until
certificate.
you're a private pilot.
Say again?
But now you get a card.
That's bullshit.
It is absolute nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, because for us, because that's what
Sorry,
we're
guys,
we're
yeah.
used to. But
No
No,
offense
that's
to
how
the
it should be.
students. No offense to the students, because it's.
But,
we've
You
all
shouldn't
been
get
there
a
and
you
do
shouldn't
it,
get
but-
a card until you earn that thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's the best feeling in the world.
Oh,
Because then they
absolutely.
give you the paper temporary
Mm-hmm.
certificate, and you're like, that's pretty damn cool. Picture. And then when you finally get that green card in the mail,
Oh yeah.
you did it.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
Not just, I went and got my medical.
unfortunately, the FAA says we don't give a shit about what you guys think.
They should.
It says, the FAA says we're just going to start slashing and giving people things.
Or
That,
they're trying to cut down on paper or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably
pay-
more
pay for
expensive.
plastic.
but yeah, now you get, when you go for your,
But the UAS ones, oh, God.
when you go for your medical.
Yeah.
Because back in days, your medical was behind your temporary, right? And
Yeah.
you're saying
Yeah.
now you're actually